Hello and welcome to Complete with DLC, the only show getting mod support. I'm one of your hosts, Brad Knight, and sitting across from me is the Zeppelin pilot, Jacob Griffin. Jacob, how you doing today?
I'm going down, Brad.
Jacob is actually the pilot of the Hindenburg, and we all know how that ends up.
Exactly.
So, you do anything fun over the weekend, Jacob? Anything entertaining?
I saw Civil War twice.
Twice?
Yeah.
Did you see it once for me? Because I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I saw it once with you there in spirit.
Okay, I appreciate that, because I just found out I'm not going to see it until, not this coming weekend, but the weekend after, unfortunately.
That's depressing.
It is very depressing, because I don't know if I can wait that long to see my favorite Spider-Man, or from what I hear is going to be my favorite Spider-Man.
Oh, he's the best. But there's a couple things that ruined my experience the first time I saw it.
Annoying moviegoers?
But it's a lot of different things. So, there was like a whole big storyline behind going to see this movie where things got messed up, where I was supposed to see it on Thursday. That didn't happen. And then it got moved to Saturday. That almost didn't happen, but we ended up going on Saturday. And then we went to this movie theater. It's a Regal Cinemas. It's in Swansea, Massachusetts. They have like regular movie theater seating, which is awful in this day and age because we have a movie theater in Dartmouth that's recliners.
Yes.
And that's just amazing. And it's cheaper for a better seating arrangement. The only problem is that you have to reserve your seats beforehand, really, to get you can get there and buy a ticket, but you probably won't get a seat, in all honesty, if it's a big movie, like on a Friday night or a Saturday night.
Yeah, and the movie happens to be Civil War.
Exactly. So, we didn't get our tickets for that, so we had to go to there. And for some reason, at the Swansea movie theaters, most of the time, you can kind of stretch out your legs. You know, there's like a long bit of room there, so there's at least that nice thing. For some reason, in this theater, the seats were like right up to our kneecaps.
Oh.
For the row in front of us, which was just terrible. Right? And it's stadium seating. So then, that was fine up until this family of 4 came over. It was 3 women and 1 man. I felt bad for him. You could tell it was his turn to pick the movie. And the girls just seemed like they didn't want to be there. One of them was on their phone the whole time. And the other one, the mother, just kept jamming her seat back into my knee. And you think the first time she did it and she felt the huge bang of my kneecap, that she would think, hey, maybe I shouldn't keep doing this. Kept doing it the whole movie. So eventually I kept kneeing her back. And it was just, it was terrible. I really wanted to, throw this woman out of the theater. If I had that executive decision, I would do it.
If you had the power.
If I had the power, I'd throw everybody out of that theater but me and my friends.
I mean, who doesn't love an empty theater?
Exactly.
It's part of the great thing about going to see a movie long after it's released is that the theaters are usually empty.
See, the thing is with that is I like it at the same time, but I don't like it because I'm like, oh, that means this movie isn't doing well and I like this movie.
Yeah. So, I mean, I even if I do see it in, a week and a half, 2 weeks, I still think that theater is going to be not packed, but there are going to be some people there.
Yeah. But seeing it my second time, I liked it a lot better. And I had a lot better of a movie experience, but that was pretty much. Oh wait, no, sorry, I lied. That's not my whole weekend experience. I also went out to lunch with my mom for Mother's Day.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah.
Take her somewhere fancy.
We went to LePage's. It's a seafood restaurant.
Oh yeah, I've been there. Nice.
Very good fish and chips there. She got a clam boil.
Oh, fancy.
Brad, what'd you do this weekend?
I really didn't do much of anything. I spent the entirety of my time finishing the game I had to make for a final. And that was about all. I really didn't do anything fun. And it made me sad.
You saying that making this game isn't fun?
No, because it was a text adventure, and I didn't care much for it. It was fun making it, but, I mean, when you think about the ratio of programming, like how much work you do to how much content you're creating, it's depressing. Like, right. I spent about 7 hours of work spread over 2 days to make a 10-minute game. Yeah. So, when you think of how valuable your time is, that's sort of a depressing aspect of programming, at least. But, yeah, I didn't get to do anything fun. Instead, I made a game and listened to everybody say how good Black Panther and Spider-Man was.
Oh, Black Panther's great.
Yep, that's what I kept hearing, and I was happy, because I want Black Panther to be good.
I'm just gonna keep rubbing it in your face how good it was.
Yeah, I know. I would expect nothing less. But now that we have our weekend recount out of the way, do you want to get into what we're playing?
Yeah, sure. Why don't we do it? Why I don't redo it.
Yeah. Yes, you did. So, Jacob, what have you been playing this week?
Not a whole lot. I played this weird game that they gave out for free for PlayStation called Tabletop Racing World Tour.
Oh, I saw my brother playing that. It looked really weird.
Yeah, it's essentially like a Hot Wheels game, if you really think about it. Because they're like these tiny cars that are like, and their tracks are like on like toy race tracks or like on just desks.
Yeah.
With stuff lying about it. It's kind of a cool concept, and it's kind of like a Mario Kart ripoff in a way, because like you pick up power-ups and you shoot people. My one problem is that the game is way too easy.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know if it's just because I'm on like the lowest cups, so it's super easy, or it's just that I'm really good at it. I'm gonna assume that it's the first one because I'm terrible at everything.
Yeah.
Well,
if
like,
it is like Mario, then the 50cc was always really easy. So.
Yeah, but usually there's like a difficulty pick, right, with the 50cc. With this, I'm just on the early cup that's like, let's say it's like the mushroom cup or something like that, but I forget what it's called in tabletop racing or whatever. But I just finished that up, and I came in first in every race.
Oh.
Like with very little challenge. Like there was a point where like in the second lap of like one of the races, I almost came in second, but then I got ahead. Somehow. I don't know. And you can't drift. I don't know if that's just because of the cars that I'm using right now, because it seems like on other ones it says drift ability, great or something like that. So I assume that maybe once I unlock different cars, then I can drift. But the car I'm using now, I can't drift with, and that makes it very annoying to try to take corners, because the freaking turning radius on these vehicles is just awful.
Well, Hot Wheels cars were not made for turning.
Exactly. They were always made for just going straight very fast through the track.
Yeah. But that was it. The little tabletop, whatever it was called. Tabletop racing, I think it was.
Oh, I played more Overwatch this weekend.
Who didn't?
10 out of 10 game. I honestly might buy it when it comes out.
Yeah, it was nice of them to extend the beta an extra day.
Yeah, it was so fun though.
Yeah. I think everybody in my house was playing it. It was actually, it absorbed a lot more of our time than I expected it to.
What did you play, Brad?
Honestly, I didn't play anything new this week. I was, everything I've played this week was kind of something I've already talked about. Of course, I'm still playing Dark Souls. I'm swapping between 1 and 2.
That's odd. That's a very odd thing to be doing.
Well, I realized that the reason I went from 2 and went back to 1 was because I wanted to understand the story. And now I basically understand the story of 1. But it in no way helps me understand the story of 2. I still have no goddamn idea what's going on in that game, so really it doesn't make any difference. And 1 is, in my opinion, a better game than 2, but 2 has its ups and downs. It has its benefits over 1. So I'm just kind of swapping back between the two. Whenever I get frustrated with one, I move to the other. But yeah, I played that. I played Overwatch, obviously. I played... I'm playing Pokemon Platinum for the YouTube series, as I mentioned, I think last week. I'm having a lot of fun with that, actually. That's been a blast.
Yeah, I'm some, like, ADD freak that's your friend.
Yeah, you're the, I guess what this generation calls the rival. Actually, I can't even tell, because it seems like I have 2 rivals, because I have that girl, Dawn, who is following me around and pops up every now and again, and then there's you, who I actually fight. And you don't stay in one place for more than, like, 2 seconds.
Yeah, I'm, like, bouncing around.
Yeah, you do this weird dance whenever you go into battle.
That's odd.
It is really, really odd. But I'm having a blast with that. It's been a long time since I've played a new Pokemon game to me. I mean, obviously it's not new. That game's like 8 years old at this point, but it's new to me. So, what else did I play? Oh, I played a little. I went back and played a little Halo. I have some Master Chief Collection. You know, the reason I bought this system that's sitting on the side of me right now. But
how'd you do? Did you do bad or good or?
I went through the Halo 1 campaign. I find myself going back to that game's campaign over and over again. Even though I've beat it dozens of times, it's just so fun. I love it. And I always play on the old graphics. I don't use the new graphics.
What's wrong with you?
I love that boxy look. That nostalgic look is just amazing to me.
See, like, it was fine at the time for me. I think now that I've seen where Halo goes, I don't like it that much. I need to clear my throat. Yeah, but I can't go back to looking at that because like Halo 1 is just so ugly looking.
I love it. I don't know what it is, but something about like the like flat pastel colors and the rough angles. I don't know. I find it very fun to look at.
It's so polygonal.
It is. It's very polygonal. Not quite Tomb Raider pointy boobs polygonal, but it's
Nothing is Tomb Raider pointy boobs polygonal.
That's true. That's true. Speaking of Tomb Raider, Uncharted came out today.
Yeah, I know, and I don't have it, which upsets me.
Are you getting it soon?
I might be. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still figuring that out.
Well, the only way it's gonna get talked about in this show is if you buy it, because I know I'm not getting it.
Why wouldn't you get it?
Because I've never bought an Uncharted game. I have all three, but that's because two of them came with the system when I bought it, and I think the third one I got in a sale for something stupidly cheap. I've never bought a fully priced Uncharted game, and I don't think I plan to.
But Uncharted is so... See, that's maybe where my problem comes with it, is that I'm trying to figure it out there, because it's like, the single-player game, the campaign's probably going to be about, like, 10 hours, and, like, while it's going to be fantastic, I don't know if I can justify paying $60 for that.
Yeah, $60 for, 10 hours. You're paying $6 an hour to play the campaign, essentially.
And I'm sure, like, I'll really enjoy it. I have no doubt that Naughty Dog can make an amazing campaign. And I'm sure I'll play the multiplayer, because I played the beta, and it was pretty fun. So, like, I'm sure I'll play a couple matches of that. It's just, like, I don't think that will hold me forever, you know what I mean?
How do the Uncharted games do on replayability? Like, can you go back and play the campaign again? And
you can. I've always found myself in the past going back and just playing certain sections that I like.
Yeah.
So, like, in Uncharted 2, I've played the train scene, like, 1,000,000 times. Like, it's just so good. But the thing is with Uncharted is that it's set up so much like a movie that you can't, like, just go back and replay it all the time.
It's like watching a movie you've already seen.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, I've seen this movie 1,000,000 times. Like, do I really want to watch it again? Sort of thing. So.
Yeah. Which is a shame, because I feel like a lot of games need that sort of replayability, especially ones that are heavily story-driven.
I mean, you could do it on a harder difficulty, obviously. That'll change it up. There seems to be dialogue choices in this one, at least from, like, one of the demos that they did at, like, E3 or PSX or something like that. So who knows if that changes the story that much.
Yeah. I mean, it could be, just Fallout 4 sort of dialogue trees. No matter what you say, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, it brings you back to the same ending point.
Yeah. That's the one thing I don't like about that game. I think we bring it up way too often, but it's everything wrong with Fallout 4. The dialogue options are my biggest problem. That and the goddamn subtitles.
Everything wrong with Fallout. We should do a CinemaSins thing for Fallout 4.
I would love to.
Bethesda.
Ding. Yeah. Preston Garvey. Ding.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing new this week. But now that finals are over and I have a little bit more free time on my hands,
It's time to play some video games.
Yeah, I think I can make sure that I come in for the Thursday show with some new and exciting things to talk about. But I guess we can get into the news then, Jacob. What do you say?
Let's get into the news.
Alright, Jacob, since we just talked about Fallout, I figure I'll start with that story. What do you say?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Well, we talked, I think it was not last show, but the show before, about Fallout 4 getting mod support on PC. It had just come out. Well, now it's going to get mod support on Xbox, with a closed beta coming later in the month.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and Bethesda had announced this in a tweet, as seems to be the standard for today's public releases. And they haven't quite dated it yet, but the creation kit, as it's being called, is planned for consoles in May on Xbox first, and then June for PlayStation 4. And it's supposed to not accompany the Far Harbor DLC, but immediately follow it. So you can expect it to be sometime after May 19th, because that's when the Far Harbor drops on Windows PC and both consoles.
When Far Harbor comes out?
Yeah, when Far Harbor. We're gonna hear so much of that. But, yeah, the creation kit is gonna bring the ability to create your own mods, as well as search for and download them directly from Bethesda.net. So very similar to how it is on the PC version, although I imagine that there's going to be a tighter leash on what's going to be allowed for the console version, since there's not quite as much flexibility there.
Right.
I haven't quite checked on it, but do you have any idea how it's doing on PC? Because they've had it since the end of April. I'm curious to see if they've done anything cool or interesting with it yet.
I haven't seen any of the mod stuff for it besides what I saw initially in the beginning when the mod stuff came out, but according to their tweet, which I clicked on, they've already hit 1 million downloads on the mod client that they have.
Yeah, it's impressive. I mean, it seems to be they have all sorts of stuff from a water fountain to appealing skin mole options.
Oh god, that sounds awful.
Yeah, it does, but unfortunately there doesn't seem to be any mods that allow you to add more names into Codsworth's vocabulary. But I'm sure that may come soon.
Yeah, I only can assume. The main thing I want to be able to have my gun scream John Cena every time I fire it. And that's about all I need in life. That and the baby rocket launcher.
Yeah, if anybody is new to modding or doesn't know much about it, take a look at what people have done to Skyrim, and then you will see the absolute epitome of what modding can do to a game, for good or bad, I suppose.
Hopefully we can turn a Deathclaw into Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, really? That's all we want in life.
Like in Skyrim, someone did that to the dragon. It was the greatest thing in the world because every time he screamed, yeah, he like blasted fire. It was amazing.
It was amazing. And now, speaking of something that is not quite as amazing, I mean, it's not bad, but it's
amazing for the people that like it.
It is. I'm being judgmental, and I apologize. But Madden NFL 17 has been announced, and it's going to launch at the end of August 23rd.
Like it always does.
Yes. And really, that is all there is. It's going... Well, actually, I wanted to mention this, because this is odd to me. It's launching on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, as usual. But it's also launching on PS3 and Xbox 360. I'm surprised that they're still developing for these titles.
I think
these platforms.
I'm surprised they didn't do like what NHL did last year. When NHL 16 came out, they also did the 360 PS3 version, but they called it the Legacy Edition. Basically, I think implying that it's going to be the last generation console release, but this one they're just releasing as Madden 17, so... Yeah,
that's weird that they're still developing for last generation, because almost every other developer has given up on it at this point.
Yeah, I've noticed that. It seems like Call of Duty hasn't given up on it yet.
Well, I mean, they're sort of, because they're, giving half the game to the last generation consoles, and...
The reason why they didn't give the what is it? What's it called? The campaign to last generation was so dumb is because of the co-op. Just take the co-op out. The co-op was not a fundamental part of that campaign in Black Ops 3.
No, and from what I understand, almost every developer is cutting co-op from their games anyway, because they seem to want to kill couch co-op. For reasons I don't understand. But that's a whole different discussion.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's... If you enjoy the NFL games, then you have a new one coming at the end of August. So...
Wait. I guess they're announcing the cover athlete on SportsCenter on May 12th?
On May 12th, yes. And so, I guess EA held a fan vote for it, and they do it every year since 2009. So, that's pretty cool that the fans do have a say in who goes on the cover.
Yeah.
If nothing else, it's nice of them.
There's also going to be a gameplay trailer for it, I guess also coming on May 12th.
Really? That's odd to me, because I don't know, the gameplay, again, I know nothing about sports titles, but from what I understand, the gameplay, minus a game mode or two, seems to be pretty standard throughout the...
They fix some stuff with, like, the hitboxes and, the maybe, like, tackling animations or something like that they change up every year.
Yeah.
But...
What astounds me is, if you look in, like, the controls for some of those guys, like, just for, like, the quarterback, it's, like, 3 pages of controls. It is mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, it is kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Like we think of it, like, not, like, just us specifically, but people look at it and they're like, oh, it's just a roster update every year, blah, blah, blah. Who needs to pay $60 for that?
Yeah.
And while maybe they should move away from that sort of annualized nature, like maybe... Well, I mean, they're making money, so they probably shouldn't, but if they maybe moved it to more of a platform sort of thing, like how, like, Rock Band is doing or Hitman is doing... Maybe that could work out for them, but as of now, they don't really have to change it. But, like, they do change up a lot of the gameplay every year and stuff. Like, it's minor tweaks, like, stuff that isn't very noticeable to the naked eye, but if you actually look into it, like, like actually like spend more than 2 seconds Googling it, you find out like they change like a lot of stuff every year.
Yeah, it's something that a dedicated fan would notice.
Yeah.
So, if nothing else, I need to learn to be less judgmental of people who play sports titles. But now we're going to talk about somebody we talk about far too often on this show, and his name is Scott Cawthon.
Speaking of games that don't change up much.
Yeah, except for the fourth one, but I don't think anybody wants to talk about that one. So, Jacob, I'm starting to believe that you can actually see the future, because not long ago you talked about how Five Nights at Freddy's is not on consoles, and that was surprising to you. And now it turns out that Five Nights at Freddy's, specifically Scott Cawthon, could be in talks to make the jump to consoles, but not Wii U, because when he was asked, he said that he doubts that the Wii U will, quote, still be a thing by the time that Five Nights at Freddy's is coming to consoles.
Did I ever tell you about the night where I found out that I was kind of a teen witch and I could see the future?
No, you never did.
So we have a laser tag place in our city named Laser Gate. It's pretty terrible, but it's fun to play laser tag. And so I went there one night, and my dad had said to, because there's a pool place nearby, and my dad said to me, "Oh, you should go to Straight Shooters, play some pool." And I said, "What do you want me to get stabbed?" Because that place, you know, is usually full of the not nice variety kind of people.
Yeah.
You know, the kind of people that would stab. Turns out that night someone got stabbed there.
Oh, I think you've told this story on the show before.
And then later on I was like, all right, I got that right. Let's see. In the next game, I'll come in the top 10. I was giving myself very like loose parameters.
Yeah.
Here. I came in number 10 exactly. So, I'm a teen witch. I can see the future, and this just been confirmed once again by Five Nights at Freddy's. Continue with the story.
So, Cawthon told the fans of the series, specifically on the Steam community site, that the popular indie dev survival horror franchise, which is currently exclusive to PC and mobile, could be heading to current-gen systems. And I like they've moved the terminology from next-gen to current-gen. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's subtle, but it's important. And he said that, quote, "I'm talking with a few companies who are interested in doing console remakes of the original games, but no further details were given, and he did not directly hint that these remakers... He did indirectly hint that these remakes won't arrive until at least 2017. And the reason that was hinted at was because when he was asked about the Wii U, he said he doesn't think it's going to be a thing if this happens, because the NX launches in March 2017, so... At best, we could see a console Five Nights at Freddy's sometime past March 2017.
I hope they just do it as a collection and they don't release each separately.
I don't, Scott Cawthon's a pretty good guy. I don't think he would do it unless, for some reason, for development purposes, he has to, but I don't see a reason that would be. I mean, he pulled his own game off the Steam store because he didn't like it, right? It was getting, like, I forget the name of the game. It was that RPG, right?
It was Five Nights at Freddy's World.
Yeah, it had, like, an 80-90 on Steam reviews, but he didn't... One second. Oh, God. I'm gonna sneeze. Damn it. I didn't sneeze. I hate it. I'm gonna die.
And it's just like, it doesn't come... I hate that. When you're like, oh, it's right in there. I can feel it about to come out. And then it just doesn't.
Yep. It's worse. It's the worst thing ever, but...
It's real anticlimactic.
Yeah. But, yeah, it was getting good reviews. But he didn't like the game. He thought it was bad, and he pulled it down. So, I mean, it shows that he really does care about his player base, and I don't think that he would sort of betray the trust that he's earned by forcing us to buy every game on console again at... What were these games released at? $25 a piece?
I absolutely have no clue. I can look that up, but... I don't think it was that high, but I think like a $25 like Five Nights at Freddy anthology collection or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you give me all four, I'd be willing to, pay $35. I think that's reasonable.
It'd be fun to play on the series where you hate things.
Yeah, exactly.
One of them is just $4.99.
That was probably the first one, if I had to imagine.
Yeah, it's Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm not sure how the rest were, but you can buy a package of all four of them for $25.
Oh, so maybe we'll see a collection released to consoles.
Yeah.
I have to imagine that if he's going to do this, then it would probably be easier to do it all at once than split it up, no?
Yeah, because the games aren't that dissimilar, so porting them all over at the same time would be a lot quicker,
yeah,
a lot easier.
Not to mention cheaper.
I just googled Five Nights at Freddy's Steam, and at the bottom of the article I could have just clicked on the link that takes me to its Steam page.
Yes, you could have.
I hate my life.
Speaking of people who are probably hating their life right now, let's talk about the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare trailer.
Oh, we're going straight to that? We're not going to go from Battlefield to that? All right.
Nah, I figure we'll touch on this one first, and then we'll go to the Battlefield one. Save the best for last, as they say.
Can we talk about the fact that on the article for the Infinite Warfare trailer thing, they just have a picture of the Battlefield trailer here?
Yeah, they do. And so the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare trailer is now the most disliked gaming trailer on YouTube. By contrast, by the way, the World War I Battlefield is the most liked. And people are not happy about this Infinite Warfare trailer. Honestly, I think it's a bit of an overreaction. I think that disliking the trailer has been a bit of a bandwagon thing.
I mean, I didn't like the trailer, but I didn't feel the need to thumbs down it or like to rally my friends and say, let's all thumbs down this game.
Yeah, when something gets momentum like this, even if you do like the trailer, you're gonna do it anyway because that's just the nature of bandwagon things. But Activision CEO Eric Hirschberg, which is an interesting name, has put out a response to...
It's another German supervillain.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Damn it, I'm gonna sneeze again. Nope. God. I'm gonna sneeze in the middle of this article, and I'm gonna be annoyed.
Right into the microphone, too. It's gonna be all over the pop filter. It's gonna be disgusting.
That's why we buy pop filters. But, so this entire thing is gonna be his statement, and I'm quoting him here, so... First of all, you gotta love the passion of gamers. This is an industry like no other, and a fan base like no other. We love that our fans treat this franchise like their own, and have such strong points of view about it. There just aren't many entertainment franchises on Earth that can generate the kind of passion that Call of Duty can, and that's a good thing.
Marvel Comics, DC Comics, Star Wars.
Secondly, of course, we know that there are people in our community who are nostalgic for the boots-on-the-ground style gameplay. That's why we made Modern Warfare Remastered. Also why you're bundling with this piece of shit. But we also have millions of people in our community who want to have new, innovative experiences in the game each year, and Infinite Warfare is going to deliver that. The good news is this year, we found a way to deliver both in one package while keeping our community together. While of course we see the passionate opinions online, we also look to other measurements, and the fact is, while it's very early, pre-orders are off to a very strong start. Views on the reveal trailer are up, and in fact, the number of likes per view on Infinite Warfare trailer are the highest we've ever seen.
Can I just say, pre-orders are high because it comes with Modern Warfare Remastered. You give someone Modern Warfare again, they're gonna take it.
And I'm gonna stop quoting him here for a second. If you don't believe, you know, people always say don't pre-order things if you don't agree with the company, because
yeah,
and people say, oh, who cares if I don't pre-order? It's one person, doesn't make a difference. This statement right here is showing you that it makes a difference. They don't care that nobody's liking the trailer because their pre-order sales are going extremely well.
The thing is, they knew exactly what they were doing when at the end of that trailer it said pre-order the Legacy Edition to get Modern Warfare Remastered. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna go back into quoting him here. We've seen this in the franchise before. The reveal trailer for Black Ops 2, which took the franchise into the future for the first time, had the most dislikes of any reveal trailer we had ever made at that time. And that went on to become our most successful game ever. Right now, the franchise has never been stronger. We have more people playing Black Ops 3, a game that takes place in the future, with boost jumps and fictitious weapons than any game in our history. What we know for sure is that if we always just did what worked in the past and never took any creative risks, we wouldn't have a franchise. The day to worry is the day we stop trying new things. End quote. I'm sorry, but you're not trying new things. You're doing the same thing every goddamn year.
Wait. I'll give him this, right? That last couple of statements there, that one that we took umbrage with about the pre-orders seemed to be a sort of a douchey statement about, well, you guys don't like our trailer, but we're making tons of money on pre-orders right now. That last one about taking creative risks, I can kind of get behind. While it's not very creative risks anymore because they've had like 15 games that are set in the future already. At first it was like the boots on the ground thing started to get old. Now the future thing is getting old, and we want to go back to boots on the ground. It's just like you can't say you're trying new things and then just make a game that looks like Black Ops 3 or Infinite Warfare again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for creative risks. That's how the industry evolves. That's how it moves forward. Some of the greatest games in our history are because people took extremely high risks. But, I mean, like you just said, you can't claim that you're taking creative risks when the game that you're making looks identical to the games you've already made the last few years.
And while this one is different because it has the space battles
And it has robots.
and it has like going to different planets and stuff.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, and while that's kind of cool, like I can understand. I've had some time to calm down from my initial reaction to the trailer, and the idea of it is cool, but the problem is that it's not cool for like a Call of Duty game. Like if you made like a Star Wars game that was like this, that'd be cool. The thing is, it's just like it's not like the military game that I'm looking for. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe Call of Duty just isn't for me anymore. Maybe because when I play a shooter like this, I kind of want like a military thing if I'm going to Call of Duty, right? If I want a sci-fi thing, I'll go to Titanfall or something like that, or a different kind, or Star Wars Battlefront even.
Yeah.
But like with with Call of Duty or Battlefield, I go to that because I want to play like a real war sort of simulation in a way.
Yeah, because that's what they made their name on. That's what they were known for.
Yeah, and so like, while I can respect that they're trying new things, even though they're not really, like we just said, it's just like, you gotta look at the market and be like, this is not what people want. Now, this isn't good to look at this game and say, well, people clearly do want this, because you're bundling it in with a game that we loved from years ago.
Yeah, and that's what's astounding to me, is that they know why people are pre-ordering this game. They know it's because of the Modern Warfare Remaster. So, if they know that, why are they continuing to focus on this futuristic thing? Because they know that that's not the thing that's selling. That's the thing that's hindering their sales. If anything, if they separated these two things, I guarantee Infinite Warfare would tank and it wouldn't sell a copy. Well, it would still sell amazingly well because there are people who buy Call of Duty every year without...
If it came out on the same day, though, it would tank.
And people would buy Modern Warfare Remastered. Why? Because that's what we want.
Right.
It's weird when Activision isn't listening to their fans, but other developers are, like DICE. And that's why Battlefield 1 is looking to be so successful already, and it hasn't even launched yet.
Before we get to Battlefield 1, because we do have a story about Battlefield 1, because it got announced, but with COD, I know exactly why they think this is going well, right? I think that with Advanced Warfare, the reason why that it didn't sell as well as most of the Call of Duties do, but it still sold pretty well because it has Call of Duty on the cover, and the story trailers looked pretty solid for it, right? And that was a pretty solid campaign. So like, even people who like most of the time play it for multiplayer, they were like, you know, this campaign looks pretty solid, maybe I'll give it a shot, right? And it's Call of Duty, so all my friends are gonna get it, so we have something of that. Black Ops 3 sold because it has Black Ops 3 in the title.
Yeah, it's sold because of its name, no other reason.
Exactly. While I don't think Black Ops 3 is the worst game in the world. It's not a Black Ops game to me.
No, and honestly, Black Ops 1 is one of my favorite Call of Duties of all time, and Black Ops 2 it's just as good of a game as the first one. I don't enjoy it as much as the first one, but still, they both are incredible games, and they use that to ride the third one.
And now the reason why Infinite Warfare is going to sell, and I keep saying it, is because of Modern Warfare Remastered. So they keep looking at these numbers and see that it's doing well, and they're not thinking about the fact that they have kind of gimmicks behind it. With Advanced Warfare, it was Kevin Spacey. With Black Ops, it was the name. With this, it's Modern Warfare. So these games are going to keep selling well, and to them, they're just like, oh, well, the numbers are still good, so COD must be strong then. You know, nobody really has a problem with these.
If anything's going to open their eyes to it, it's going to be when these two games launch, Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remaster. Don't forget that Modern Warfare Remaster has its own separate multiplayer. Everything is standalone from Infinite Warfare. And after, say 3, 4, even 6 months, the Infinite Warfare multiplayer is going to tank significantly, and everybody's going to be on Modern Warfare Remaster multiplayer. And if that does not open their eyes, I do not know what will. And that's assuming that they don't already know what they're doing.
I guess that's kind of be where to look at, is to see, who's playing what, who's playing Infinite Warfare, who's playing Modern Warfare. I mean, even look at Battlefield. Battlefield tried something different last year with Hardline. Hardline kind of tanked.
I mean, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't, from what I understand, it's not a typical Battlefield game. I don't know much about Battlefield, though, so I can't really say.
Exactly. And so now, while that may suck because maybe Battlefield won't try anything different, but they are listening to their community. They went back to a regular war game, which is where we can segue into Battlefield 1 here.
Yeah.
Unless you have something else to say about Call of Duty.
Final comment on Infinite Warfare. You're saying that, how do I phrase this? You're giving me a car. And every year, you say you're giving me a new car, but it's really the same car with a different paint job. And this year, I want a different car.
Right. And maybe that different car is
World War I from Battlefield, called Battlefield 1. Very confusing.
Yes.
And DICE, really, you gotta figure out how to name your games. I looked at your previous titles, dude. You got no idea what you're doing.
You gotta learn. You gotta figure it out.
I mean, you'll get there eventually, I'm sure. But so since we did the last show, DICE has revealed their new Battlefield game called Battlefield 1, and it's in World War I. And the trailer that they put out, if you haven't seen it, I'll put a link to it below. And the trailer, during a live stream, depicted combat making use of ground troops, airplanes, battleships, zeppelins, horses, and snipers. And at the press event, an EA spokesperson stressed that the game is about variety and not just shooting from a muddy trench, which is what a lot of people were worried about when they were talking about World War I, because it was known as the Trench War.
Right.
And so the weapons on the display included the bayonets and hand maces, rifles, machine guns, gas attacks, and sniper rifles, as previously mentioned. Battlefield 1 also allows players to take control of tanks and biplanes. Dedicated vehicle classes are being introduced, such as tank captain and pilot, and some of the vehicles can be used by 2 players, such as a pilot and a gunner. And the lead game designer, Danny Berlin, another German. What's with all the Germans? Oh, I'm assuming he's German because his last name is Berlin, but...
That's racist.
Well, I mean, listen, there were a lot of Germans on these war games, and I'm not saying that that means anything, but it's an odd coincidence.
A German working on World War I game, what a surprise.
So he came out with a statement and said, "There's a common misconception. This was an era of muskets, but they were inventing weapons all the time. There is a huge amount of variety of weapons with a powerful and authentic feel. It's a fast and really cool experience, and any playstyle you have will cater for it." You see, Activision, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Locations include muddy fields and forests of France, the deserts of Arabia, and the Italian Alps. Maps it will include cityscapes and villages with lots of buildings, as well as open fields more suited to tanks. A spokesperson said that the time was right for DICE to move away from the modern genre of recent games in the Battlefield series, because you actually listened to your fans. Berlin had said that we wanted to create a physical space that is more personal and physical, which is a very redundant statement. We're going back to the dawn of all-out warfare. World War I is the genesis of modern warfare. So that's sort of the reason why they decided to go with World War I. And I guess it's kind of better than World War II because World War II's been done a lot.
That's the one thing I will say about this. Like, World War I is like a war that's not done very often in games.
I'm trying to think of one and I can't.
The only game I can think of that had World War I in it was Valiant Hearts, and then that's a very different game to Battlefield 1.
Yeah, that's true. He said that a new melee system is being introduced with more depth and meaning to hand-to-hand combat, including knives, maces, and a shovel, as well as a very powerful bayonet charge.
That sounds violent.
Well, I mean, it's authentic, because shovels were what every troop carried with them because it helped them dig the trenches, but they were also used as a weapon. Berlin had also added that World War I was unique in that it featured new technology alongside hand-to-hand combat and horse charges. You can bring a horse to a tank fight, he said, which sounds like a poor idea if you're on the horse, but, I mean, if you want to do that. He had said that we want to portray how scary it was for the soldiers to see the completely new weapons. Vehicles are a very strong key for us. You'll have large, heavy tanks, light tanks, armored trucks, different types of biplanes like bombers that tie land and air combat together, but also scout planes that are key to air-to-air combat. You can have dogfights where you are the pilot and your buddy is in the rear seat shooting back at the bad guys. They're making a lot of promises here, and honestly, they all sound pretty awesome.
I want to say a couple things about this. Number one, I think this game looks incredible graphically, at least.
Yep.
Because while the trailer is not full in-game footage, it says in-engine.
Yep.
So you can only assume that that's how the game is going to look. There's some stuff I see in the trailer that, while I know it won't be exactly like that in the multiplayer mode, because, people are, most of the time just play the multiplayer game normally. It looks incredible. Like that one plane scene where they're like flying through like a canyon. They're like shooting at each other. That looks incredible.
Oh,
like
absolutely.
I just imagine how fun that could be in a game. Hopefully they fix the way their planes control. Maybe take like from Battlefront the way the ships control in that.
Because that is honestly, I think, my favorite game to fly in ever. Something about controlling the fighters is it feels like almost natural. It's very, very easy.
Or at the very least, like, have an option, so like you can have the regular Battlefield flying that people seem to enjoy for some reason.
Yeah,
and then you could have a simplified like Battlefront version.
Freaking sadists who enjoy Battlefield flying.
Yeah, what do you think about this? Because I didn't really get your opinion on it when I texted you and asked you what you thought about it, because all you said was interesting.
Well, what caught my attention was the single player campaign, which they didn't talk much about, but there is one statement here from Berlin about it. And he says that he promises more player choice and more variety, and the single player campaign is going to focus on a bunch of different people on how they are reacting to the unfolding war. Which, that is interesting to me. I want to see... I noticed that when I keep going back to Infinite Warfare, I don't want to keep doing this, but in Infinite Warfare, you're following a captain, right? For once, you're the leader of a group, and you're not a follower. And with this, you are seemingly just another troop, and you're just observing how people are reacting to this war. People are, they're scared out of their minds because it's the First World War. It's the Great War. And I realized that I don't want to be the leader. I have no interest in wanting to see what it's like to order these people around. I want to be one of the guys on the ground.
Right.
And...
you want to feel like you're in the shit, so to speak.
Yeah. And it's... I don't know. I'm very, very excited for this game, simply because I love World War I. Because, like you said, it's a technological, just huge advancement. There are so many things that were invented simply for the use of World War I. And, there are Zeppelins. Zeppelins were something that a lot of people don't know, but they were used in World War I as a primary weapon. They attacked at night, and they served as bombers, which I wonder how it's going to play in the game. But I'm honestly very, very excited. And if nothing else, it'll be cool to fly a biplane and have somebody behind you,
gunning for you.
Yeah, it reminds me of the scene in Star Wars on Hoth, where he's in the snowspeeder.
Yeah, and he's shooting at the back, and
yeah, that's
cable happens.
That is what I want this to be.
I want it to be like Snoopy in the Red Baron. you ever watch Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown?
Who hasn't?
With the when he has the whole scene where he's the World War II flying ace.
Yeah.
While different war, but could still be fun.
It could still be fun. I mean, I have one last statement here from Berlin, which I think it's a good note to end on. He says, team play is the recipe for success. Your team is a good asset for you. This is still a multiplayer sandbox, so if you want to lone wolf it, that's fine, but synchronized team play and squatting up wins the day. And...
that sounds great.
It does. I'm very, very excited for this. And for those of you who want to play Battlefield 1 early, it's going to be available for play during EA's mid-June EA Play event, with an early access program being planned for PC and Xbox One.
Oh, really? So they're in their weird E3 spin-off?
Yep.
Well, that's cool, actually. I hope it's just like a thing like they did that one year at E3 where they just came out and they were like, hey, you want to play Battlefield Hardline? Well, the beta is out now. Go try to download it, and our website will be down for like half an hour because 50 million people tried to hit it all at once.
Yeah. But, yep, that's the entirety of that story, but I am incredibly excited.
Yeah, I am too. I like that DICE has taken what their players' feedback has been and is changing it up. Because while Battlefield 4 is a good game, it was just Battlefield 3 again, essentially.
Yeah.
So this seems like a very different game. So it's exciting.
I think I might finally become a part of the Battlefield franchise because I hadn't up to this point. I haven't played any of the Battlefield games with the exception of Hardline, but as people repeatedly point out to me, that's not a Battlefield game.
I'm surprised you've never played a Battlefield before, even just tried out one.
I mean, I've played it. I go over to a friend's house or whatever, and he'll be a Battlefield fan. But I've always been the Call of Duty guy.
Right.
So
I've always been more of a Call of Duty guy too, but I respect Battlefield and I really like Battlefield.
Oh no, absolutely. I think it's time I jump ship.
I'm definitely gonna get Battlefield 1 though when it comes out.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm probably gonna get Infinite Warfare, but for all my bitching, I really want Modern Warfare Remastered.
Yeah, I'm annoyed that I'm gonna have to buy Infinite Warfare because, I mean, I'm getting Modern Warfare Remastered. That is a freaking fantastic game, and to see it redone,
I mean, even just from that little small part in the trailer, that remake looks amazing.
It does. It looks absolutely awesome. But
yeah.
Speaking of things that look pretty awesome, we're gonna move into the last story of the day, and this was just announced earlier today, about 2 hours ago. So right before we started this recording, which is specifically why we waited to start this recording. We got some news on the Pokemon Sun and Moon, the new Generation 7 titles that are coming out. Oh my god, there's 7 generations of this thing?
Ugh.
Wow.
There's so many. There's an owl wearing a bra.
It makes me it's weird to me that this game is as old as I am. That's incredible to me. But
you're 7 years old.
Yeah. But we got a look at the starters for the game. One of them is called Rowlet. He's the grass starter, and he is an owl with a bow tie, a little leafy bow tie, which
it looks like a bra.
And Jacob says it looks like a bra.
I don't know. He's adorable, though. I would pick him up and love him for the rest of my life.
He is absolutely adorable. He's called, he's Rowlet. He's the grass quill Pokemon. And, that's really all we know about him. The only other thing we know about him is his little description. And he has a move called Leafage, which is apparently like Leaf Attack, but his specific move. I don't know. They didn't really give a lot of information about this. The only things we know is the name and a little bit about their moves. So the next one is the fire type, and that's Litten. And he is a fire kitten.
That's a good pun.
Yeah, I think that's what they're aiming for.
Yeah.
Good on you, Pokemon Company. You know what you're doing.
You finally stopped being weird for a week.
You still think online multiplayer's a dying trend, but eventually you'll learn.
Yeah.
So Litten is the fire cat Pokemon, and he is literally just that. He is a black cat with red accents. He's got a mustache, which is cool. Apparently Litten is he's the strong and silent type, like your average cat, and his hairballs spit fire.
Great.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
He comes with the ability Blaze, and and Ember is his opening move. Other than that, we don't know anything else about him, other than he looks awesome. And this last one, and for the life of me, I'm not going to pronounce this right, so forgive me, it's Poplio. And Poplio is a sea lion, specifically one that looks like he belongs in a circus, because he has a little light blue thing around his neck that looks like a doily, and he's got a clown nose.
Got a big old ball nose.
Yep, and he's balancing Rowlet on his nose inside a water bubble. But that's really all we know about him, is he's a dopey water type, he's a sea lion, and he starts with water gun. And apparently his water gun is watery snot bubbles, which is
nice.
Which is disgusting. So those are the 3 starters. We'll learn more about them soon, I'm sure. But what we also got to look at was the 2 legendaries, what we assume are the 2 legendaries, because they're on the box.
Who I call the Moon Man and Sunny.
Yes.
Because it's Sun and Moon.
So on the Pokemon Sun box, it is a giant white lion. Very cool design. His head looks sort of like a flower. I suppose that was intentional. And for Moon, we have what is being described as a giant bat.
Yeah.
With a moon head.
What if it's the Batman?
I am the Batman.
We're going to put these in the description so you can see the pictures of these guys.
Absolutely. But yeah, that's a very, very short one, but it's interesting to see new stuff as it unfolds. And I think this might be the game that gets me to jump back into Pokemon as it comes out, and, otherwise I'd be playing this, in 8 years when it's old news, like I am with Pokemon Platinum right now.
I'm getting a phone call, so we're going to take a little bit of a break here.
Oh, right. Alright, Jacob's back from his phone call. His discussions have come to an end. And so have our discussions, because the news is over, guys. That's it. That's all I got. If it's not good enough for you, I'm sorry. I'll try it.
If you don't like it, leave.
There's the door. Don't let it hit you on the way out. I'm kidding. Please stay. So we're going to move on into the final segment of the show, the newest segment of the show, and that is the quick time question. Alright, so this is the quick time question, and how this show works is every week I ask Jacob a form of trivia, video game trivia specifically, and it could be in any sort of format. It could be a actual quiz, it could be a multiple choice question, it could be a true or false question, or it could be a game. I like to change it up from week to week to keep Jacob on his toes, but he's been pretty good at, staying ahead of the curve so far. He's answered most of the questions, so hopefully this week I can stump him a little bit. This week, Jacob, is going to be a multiple choice question about Madden.
Madden? Oh, wow. I thought you were going to do Uncharted. Whatever.
Nope, I figured I'd tie it into the show. If you happen to get Uncharted into for next Tuesday, then I'll put an Uncharted question in, but we'll see. So, multiple choice question, and it is this. Which of these 4 players has never been on the cover of a Madden NFL game? Is it Ray Lewis, John Elway, I'm going to pronounce this guy's name wrong, Dante Culpepper, and Vince Young? Which of those 4 has never been on the cover of a Madden NFL game? Do not ask me for hints about who these people are, because I don't know. I don't follow football.
I know Ray Lewis and John Elway. I'm going to say the third guy, because I literally have no clue who that person is.
Neither do I, but you are incorrect, Jacob. Dante Culpepper is, although he sounds like a kitchen spice, he was indeed on the cover of a Madden NFL game, specifically 2002.
Oh.
The correct answer was John Elway. He was never on the cover.
Really?
Yep.
That's surprising.
Vince Young was on the 2008 cover, and Ray Lewis was on the 2005 cover, and he was actually the first defensive player to do so. And
Ray Lewis killed somebody.
He did, and for that he got to be on the cover of an NFL game.
Right? Did Ray Lewis kill somebody?
I think that was Ray Lewis. I don't know.
No, I think so.
I don't know.
I don't keep up with the murderers of the NFL.
But a little extra piece of trivia, Madden NFL 2001 was actually the first game not to have John Madden on the cover of it.
Why would you want John Madden? That's probably why John Elway was never on the cover then.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, Ray Lewis did kill somebody.
I'm glad we know. But Jacob, you were wrong this week.
That's like only the second time I've been wrong out of the 4 weeks that we played this.
You're 50-50 so far. I'll have to try to tip the scales in my favor next Tuesday. But I think it's time we get into the spiel.
Yeah, sure, let's get into the spiel.
So if you want to get in touch with us, you have comments, questions, concerns, or you just want to talk about anything that we've talked about on this show to share your opinions with us, you can do that at completewithdlc@gmail.com. That is going to be the fastest way to have a in-depth discussion with us if that's what you so desire. If you don't want to have in-depth discussion, you just want to keep up with the show, then Twitter is going to be the place you're going to want to go, and we are Complete with DLC at Twitter as well. That is where Jacob puts up all the information about the new shows going up, whether it be a new episode for the Complete with DLC podcast, or any of the many video series that we have ongoing right now, as of which is, 3? We have Sky Fortress going on, we have My Pokemon Platinum Nuzlocke Run, and I believe we have, what was the other thing?
We don't have anything other than those two.
Do we not have? I thought we had a third one. All right, we'll have a third one soon. So I don't.
No, what's it called? Ended.
Oh right, Slender ended. That's what I was thinking of. All right, so just those two. But regardless, Twitter is going to be where you get all the updates for those things. Now, if you don't want to follow us on Twitter and you just want to keep getting the show stuff, then you're going to want to subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, or Google Play. Those are the 4 platforms at which this podcast can be found, and any of the subsidiaries which use those. So basically you can find us wherever your podcasts are found. And if you are listening to this, please give us a review, give us a rating, a like, or whatever the form of feedback is on your designated podcast player. We take all of the feedback you guys give us, and we try to think we're improving the show, but we never quite know for sure. Our RSS feed is hosted directly to SoundCloud, so if you want to get directly from the source, then SoundCloud is going to be your option. Jacob, if they want to talk to you specifically and they don't want to talk to the show, where can they talk to you?
They can find me on any sort of social media at It's Jay Griff, ITSJAYGRIFF. I did some pretty prime GIF work this weekend on Twitter.
Jacob is very proud of his. Is it?
I'm a GIF aficionado, and I really like a good placed GIF with a tweet can save anything. I think even if your tweet is bad or it's something boring, like on my way to see Civil War, and you post a GIF of him from Winter Soldier saying "on your left and running." That's good. See, because it looks like he's on his way to see Civil War. It's prime GIF work.
Jacob is a GIF connoisseur.
I'm most active on Twitter. I forgot to mention that too. But Brad, where can they get in touch with you?
If you want to get in touch with me, there are a few ways to do it. One of them is Twitter. I am Calgny on Twitter, KALGNE. If you don't trust my ability to use a social media site, then my hat's off to you, sir or madam, because you are correct. Otherwise, you're going to want to go to Battle.net. I am Brad1261 on Battle.net. That is Blizzard's little interactive hub for all their games. Brad1261. If you do send me a friend request on Battle.net, let me know that you're a listener to the show so I can make a note appropriately, and I don't accidentally delete you in 3 months when I forget who you are. It's nothing personal, I'm sorry, my phone just went off. Nothing personal, but my short-term memory is awful, and I don't remember people. I would forget Jacob if I didn't have to talk to him twice a week.
Wow, that hurts.
If you don't use Battle.net and you don't trust me to use Twitter, then I believe your last option is going to have to be the email of the show, guys. Just direct the email at either Jacob or myself, depending on the person that you want to talk to specifically, and I will make sure that it gets to the correct person, and it'll get answered. You have my word. I believe that's all the information, unless I'm forgetting something.
No, we don't do, what's it called, on Tuesdays, do we?
Do what? No, we don't do music recommendation on Tuesdays.
Damn.
That's a Thursday only thing. So if you wanna hear the,
I got one ready and everything, and I forgot that we don't do it.
If you want to hear our musical recommendations, you're gonna have to come back for the Thursday show. But until then, this has been a show. This has been complete with DLC. I'm Brad Knight.
I'm Jacob Griffin.
We gotta find a way to make that stop sounding weird.
Oh, God, it makes me want to throw up.
And thank you for listening.
Oh, I forgot to click stop.